when the unnatural is considered natural, and when you want to move back to the natural condition, the natural condition seems artificial. Because we have got so accustomed to the artificial condition. It's been happening for so long that we think that's natural. So the free, unrestricted mixing of the two sexes, the male and the female, is natural only in the bodily concept of life. Even then, actually, according to the Shastras, it shouldn't. Even then, it should be regulated. If it's a civilized human life. What to speak of one who wants to achieve spiritual perfection? It's all a question of what we want in life. Do you want to come out of the bodily conception of life and understand you're the spirit soul and then go back to Godhead, or not? If you don't want to, then all right, we may be a little loose. Our progress will be that much slower. It may take a couple of more lives. But if you want to come out of it, that's a medicine we have to take. Whether it appears artificial or adverse, the point is we have to analyze and diagnose what the problem is. The problem is we think we are the body. And because I'm in a male body, I think I'm a male. And the other jiva is in a female body and I think she's attractive. Because nowadays also it's male and female, everything's all thoroughly mixed up nowadays. You know, male gets attracted to male, female, all these things, confusions are happening nowadays. At least earlier there was only one confusion to worry about. Now there's so many other types of confusions. And the child, you know, what do you call them? Pedophiles and you have what not. Pedophiles.
Animals also. They have also in America animals, isn't it?
Animals, yeah. So something for variety. So you see, the modern day and age is simply deepening the bodily concept of life. So we have to analyze philosophically instead of, if some brahmachari is complaining it's too adverse, Prabhu, just consider the situation. What do you want to do? What is the goal of your life? And do you want to achieve that in this life or you don't? You think you're the body, but you're not the body. You're a spirit soul. You're a servant of Krishna. You have to become a pure devotee of Krishna. And so long as you start mixing very freely with the opposite sex, then you're going to be deeper and deeper in bodily consciousness. We want to come out of this bodily consciousness and come onto the spiritual platform. So if you want to do it in this life, then you have to be vigilant. If you're going to be lax about it, then it'll take you that many lifetimes more. So if you're willing for that, then yes. And if he says, yes, I'm willing, then reflect carefully. Birth, the misery of birth, the misery of death, misery of old age, misery of disease, all the other miseries that come in life. Don't simply say it just for the sake of saying it, yes, I'm prepared. When you actually have to suffer again 9 months in the womb, again undergo death for several more lifetimes, is it really worth it? Isn't it worth it to just tolerate it a little bit? This desire to associate with the opposite sex, Prahlad Maharaj says, is like an itch. Scratches it, itches you. And there's a strong tendency to just scratch it. And then you seem to get some relief. So that's what sex is all about, actually, Prahlad says, in this world. If you can just tolerate that, few years, one life, finish it off, just tolerate. Just serve Krishna. Bear with it, just one life. As Bhakti Charu Maharaj always says, when he met Prabhupada for the first time, Prabhupada told him, you had many lives in this material world. Give this one life to Krishna. So we associate with the opposite sex in different species of life. We don't know how many millions of lifetimes. That is one lifetime. Not even one, half a lifetime. Or 3/4 of a lifetime. Let's give for Krishna. Tolerate it a little bit. And exchanging joking words is also another form of sense gratification. So brahmachari or sannyasi is not supposed to joke with women like that, in that sense, because it leads to further intimate association. It's also a form of intimate association. The principles of brahmachari life are 8 in number, like thinking about sex, associating intimately with the woman in a solitary place, and so on. Joking with women is also one of the things that violates the principle of brahmachari life, because it gets you attached to the company of women. You want to be there more and more with them. Even though it may not be very gross, it may not be actual sex desire, but just the fact that you want to be with them and just be in their company and chat and joke, itself will lead one step further down. One thing leads to another. So anyone who's serious about his spiritual life should reflect on these things cool-headedly. Then why am I here in the human body? Why am I here in ISKCON? Why am I here as a brahmachari? So that I can make my life successful in this life. I don't want to be born again. So if we are philosophical by nature and if you're constantly hearing, then we will not ask these questions. But if you're not hearing, then we start thinking, what's wrong? And just a little more association I can do. We might think like that. But we should reflect on the consequences. Isn't it? Yes. Hare Krishna.
I was wondering if as a brahmachari we haven't read the Bhagavad Gita, how important is it to do so? If we have read the Bhagavad Gita, how important is it to do so? Like, can you give some,
Very, very important. In all cases. One who hasn't read, he should read. And if one who has read, he should read more. We should read till the end of our life. Our hearing, chanting should continue lifelong. Prabhupada used to read his own books. So we should continue to hear, because this material nature tends to make us forget. So to constantly read and to constantly hear means to reinforce our convictions, which tend to get eroded by the power of material energy. So we have to constantly read, constantly hear, every day. Then we shall be protected. Yes.
I was thinking recently, I've been listening to some classes by Bhakti Vijayakonda Swami, and he's speaking about the importance of Vedic culture. And sometimes I think that when I'm here, when I get low on energy, or when I get weak, and I find it very difficult. I think I shouldn't be here. I should just, get out here, go to India where the culture is more supportive. I was thinking that, what's going to happen to me? Like I'm doing service here. What's going to happen to me if I leave the body here? What's actually going to happen? I don't know any of the Vedic etiquette or any of the Vedic culture. What's going to happen to me? Where will I go?
The lotus